Hello, and thanks for watching this episode of H-Town Now. I'm Lauren Lewis.
And I'm Schuller. Today's episode will feature stories from the Mass Communication class and the Journalism 1 class.
Theater is a big program at Huntington High. The group is led by Mrs. Freeman and involves hard work and fun. Theater is a unique elective to be involved in, but can be rough to teach.
I have to teach 5 different things. Once I get over the basics, then I hit all the different things for every class. That's really stressful.
Teaching theater comes with directing plays, which means auditions.
They show up one day and read the script, and then they will dance. And then I will put them where I think that they're best suited.
And though it's fun, the jobs aren't easy.
One of the hardest things would be the stage manager. They're a student who calls the show, tells the curtain when to shut, the students when to fly someone. They do everything.
For students, preparing for the play is different.
Going over every single line like 8,000 times, even though you know every single way to move, to speak. It's just the final moments before a play, you just have to keep prepping and prepping and prepping because you never know what's going to happen.
And how they get into theater is also different.
I was introduced to theater by a few upperclassmen my freshman year just because they needed extra boys in a show. And I think when I got introduced to Miss Freeman and the way of theater, I finally found my home.
Not everyone who takes theater is social at first, however.
But I think the reason why we do the icebreaker games is to open up everyone, and it's really just fun to see and be able to watch how much the freshmen or the new kids, even seniors that are new to theater, just their overall progress on how much they grow and become comfortable with all of us.
If you're looking to perform or get out of your shell, look to theater. The theater department is preparing for the Wizard of Oz Spring Show.
The students in JROTC stay busy throughout the year. This story takes a look at all that is included in the program. JROTC is a big program at Huntington High. The class includes more than just military training.
We have teams. We have our drill team, we have our Raider team, we have our Cyber Patriot team, we have our J-Labs teams, which do academic bowls.
In addition to team competition, JROTC also prepares you for life.
It gives them a lot of leadership ability, a lot of information on first aid, health, PT, project management, all kinds of leadership skills that are invaluable in the real world.
In the military, everyone gets to help each other out.
It helps with team building exercises, and it helps you cope with other people and communicate.
JROTC helps with high school, but also gets you ready for life.
If you take all 4 years of ROTC, you can become like an E3 in the Army or in the military in general.
Students can join JROTC at any year. If you want to join, talk to your counselor. The JROTC program also includes community service. The cadets have helped with the 2 blood drives at school this year.
There are many art classes offered at Huntington High. Students in several of those classes have been preparing for upcoming art shows.
Throughout the school year, art students prepare for shows where they showcase their work. One of those is coming up in March.
We do have the board show, which every school in Cabell County has their school represented in a show. And then it's called Night on Fifth. And the board office members will be there, and the parents are invited to that. Anybody in the community can come.
There are many shows, but at the Night on Fifth, students get personal recognition.
It was really honoring because it just showed that they wanted to use my artwork to represent the school itself and just to represent those programs, and it just kind of made me feel good about my work itself.
Students are excited for this year's show because of good past experiences.
The point of the art walk, I think it's just to give recognition to the creativity in school, and just really bring attention to the photography and art programs in our school.
Students were proud to show off their work, and showing off the work gave them a confidence boost.
Yeah, I was actually entered a couple of times. My first one was a piece from my photography class. My teacher, Mr. Hawley, he entered one of my pieces called Bath Time Casualties, and it was focused on a project where we took a photo representing our biggest fears. And then another piece of mine, which was called Butterflies in the Sunset, which was actually from my art teacher, Miss Navy. She entered that piece in.
The Huntington High Night on 5th is March 12th. Students, parents, and teachers can attend. Tiffany Jones, H-Town Now.
The Night on 5th art show for Huntington High is coming up in March.
Track and field athletes for both boys and girls team have been preparing for the 2020 season. Devon Butler has this story.
The athletes on the girls and boys track teams have begun practicing for the upcoming season. Each student and coach should have a reason for their interest in the sport.
I just like the sport. I like to be athletic and face different challenges.
Coach Cox coaches girls track and has a long history in the sport.
The biggest thing that drives my passion for track is that I ran in high school, and that was one of the things that saved me. I was very I lacked confidence as a kid, and track was one place that I was able to be successful where I hadn't been successful in much else.
Sometimes athletes have injuries that cause them frustration. Track is no different.
You can have shin splints, or you could tear muscles in your legs.
Setbacks happen, but success is always a goal. Different people see success in different ways.
You just gotta think about what you can achieve at the end of the season.
Those achievements can be easily measured at the end of the track season.
If a kid is faster at the beginning of the year than they were at the end of the year than they were at the beginning of the year, then we can call it a success. If they were, if they threw further at the end of the year than they did at the beginning of the year, then that's a success.
Track season really begins in the spring, but the teams start early. Devon Butler, H-Town Now.
The track season will run from the end of March until the middle of May.
Latin is a class offered to students to fulfill their foreign language credit. There's more to the class than just learning the language.
Latin is one of several foreign languages that is offered at Huntington High. It has become very popular.
You should definitely take Latin. It's helped me a lot in my classes, English, history, and yeah, you should definitely take Latin.
Students study the language, but the class is about much more.
Well, obviously we do study the language, but we do a lot more than just learn Latin vocabulary and Latin grammar. Sometimes I think that students learn more English in Latin class than they do Latin. It's sort of a window into how to understand language in general, but also culture, history, stories and myth, all of the things that go into learning Latin, and those are often the really fun things. So there's a balance.
The classes keep growing because students enjoy the material.
I think they enjoy the myth and how the stories fit in with that.
If students take Latin, they are eligible to join Latin Club.
In Latin Club, we have Latin parties. If you're in Latin Club, you can also go to Latin Con and compete against other Latin students in the state.
Sometimes students may be scared to try something new, but Latin helps them.
I think that students find they learn how to become good learners through Latin. They don't just learn cool things. Not everyone in the world knows Latin. It's kind of cool to get to be one of the people who know.
Latin 1 through 4 are offered to students. The classes give students a foreign language credit. Wyatt Williams, H-Town Now.
The Latin Club recently attended the Latin Convention in Morgantown. The members participated and won several competitions.
Dance is the class offered by the show choir teacher, Mrs. Atkins. Students get to learn and perform different dances throughout the year.
In order to graduate high school, every student needs a fine arts credit. You can get this credit by taking a dance class.
In dance, we watch videos and learn choreography from those videos. And if we see a dance that we really like, we'll all come together and tell Ms. Atkins that we really like it, and she'll let us learn that dance.
By watching someone dance, it could really inspire you to do that.
Zendaya inspired me to dance. I used to watch her all the time.
There are so many ways and forms to express your emotions through dance.
The thing about dance that has always interested me is because it's such a unique art form that you have to express with your body. And there's so many types and styles of dance that really anybody can fall in love with it.
The upcoming dancers, you have to put a lot of motivation and hard work to it.
I would tell aspiring dancers coming to Huntington High is you've got to work every day on something that you love. It doesn't come easy. You've got to put a lot of practice and time and effort into it. So you're going to get out of something what you put into it.
Dance classes has up to 4 levels of dance. The higher the class, the higher the expectations. Dejanay Anderson, H-Town Now.
That's the time we have for this episode. I'm Brandon Schuller.
And I'm Lauren Lewis, and this is H-Town Now. See you next time.